A very good evening to everyone. I am Garima Gupta from behalf of Kitabe Club. We are hosting today a very special guest on Kitabe Club here, Dr. Professor Sandeep Sahasrabudhe. He has given us a very informative book which you can have a look at. So we welcome you to our platform and we will be today discussing this particular book of yours, which is called Demystifying Asset Classes. Before, as sir needs no introduction, वैसे, but as a part of the new community who is here, let me just tell you about him in brief. Sandeep sir is a certified financial planner, beside holding a PhD in wealth management. Sandeep sir is having over 20 years of experience in the field of wealth management. No doubt why he has written this book. He has also worked as an investment advisor to reputed banks such as Axis, HDFC, IDBI before starting up his own advisory firm in name of Moneywise Wealth Planners. He is also director at numerous companies dealing in real estate, provides advisory to clients in India as well as in UAE, Thailand, Georgia, Sri Lanka, Greece, and he is expanding his base. He is also associated with many institutes like MIT, IBS, only to name a few. And moreover, he has also been a member to Society of Financial Planners, BNI, Roundtable India, CEO Clubs India, and he is a very professional person. He likes to keep his work life and professional personal life different. And besides that, he is also a golf player, a mouth organ player, and he likes singing and likes to go for cycling. If I have to
Thank you, ma'am.
continue this entire session, will go and continuing the attributes you have to your behalf. But let's keep a separate session for that, for all your achievements, and begin with your book today. We
Thank you,
welcome
madam.
you,
Thank
a
you,
very
Garima.
warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, Garima, madam.
It's been our pleasure to have you here for on such a wonderful topic. This particular book gives a detailed of about how the investments and the variety of investment options we as an individual have. So let's hear about his journey as an author on this particular book. Sir, when I was reading and going through this book, I just I could make sense that it gives detail of each investment segment in very detail. How did you come to this concept, and how did you conceptualize writing a book like this? And what was the time frame you took in jotting down all these detailing, which is very useful to each and individual class? Please share your journey with us.
Yes, Garima, madam. Actually, I have been visiting faculty at numerous MBA institutes in Pune, and during my course of teaching in the past 6 7 years, students used to tell me that they had to refer to 3 to 4 books, and also the language which was there was pretty much complicated in these books which they used to have to refer to. So they used to tell me that. Can is there any book available in the library or online where we can get that book which would be explaining each and every investment avenue in a easy to understand manner, so that a layman can understand in simple layman terms, because the jargons that are used in all these heavy material investment books are, it's quite complicated for a common man to understand, and even the students who are pretty young, so they are typically at the age of 21 22 when they are pursuing MBA, and even at BBA level they're about 18 19 years of age. So then that thought came to my mind that why not write a book which will cover each and every investment avenue as of now on planet Earth. So that was the thinking. And how much time it took was about 1.5 years. I started writing this book when pandemic started. So from 22nd March,
Okay.
as all of us, 22nd March 2020, I remember, was the first day I started writing this book. And actually, I have rewritten it 2 3 times because there are many chapters which got added along the way, and it has been, I edited it 2 3 times to make it, when I reached a satisfaction level that yes, now it according to me is at a certain stature, then I printed the book.
Okay. Sir, me myself being a CA, I am aware of the investment option. Yet, while going through the index and page by page description to the book, I mean, kudos to you the way you have detailed each and every investment class and with so much in brief. Means any, as you said, any student, any layman, it is a perfect guide for them. With that
Thank you,
mention of
madam.
yours, like when he, yeah, very when many students came to you, I just had one question in mind that can this investment topic, which is very vast, very deep, can it be introduced at some education level in India? Because in India, it generally starts after you start earning, but at that time you
True.
do not have knowledge. So how can it be rooted in our education system? Is it possible?
It is very much possible, actually, and I think they should have this in the curriculum right from school days, because what is happening all around, whichever course you pursue, be it medicine or engineering or commerce or arts or any particular profession you choose, everywhere you will be earning money, but how to invest that hard-earned money is not taught in school and particularly in college. So those who choose MBA finance would actually get accustomed to this particular aspect of investments, but apart from that, the other guys are not these things are not taught to them. So that's why that's what that was the thinking behind writing that book. So that, and to answer your question, yes, it should very much be introduced right from school days.
Yes, means instead of going to the MBA level, attaining a PG and then start investing, if students level are educated with the at least the types of investments available, what does it mean, what are the basics, then it will be really helpful in their financial planning for their lifetime. Kudos to
Yes,
you,
ma'am.
sir. I mean, and anyone who goes through the books will be able to make sense what we are talking about, because once you start going through, when the book finishes, you don't know, and you are so much full of knowledge coming to the
Yeah.
last page of the book. Sir, everyone is talking about market बहुत ऊपर जा रहा है, market बहुत नीचे जा रहा है. Things are very unstable as per market is considered these days. What is the piece of investment advice you would like to share with the listeners, with authors, in this particular situation?
According to me, it's very difficult to time any asset class, and the name of the title of the book itself is Demystifying Asset Classes. So, we are my firm Moneywise Wealth Planners, where myself and my partner, Mr. Manoj Munot, we are actually handling portfolios about 1,500 clients. And instead of trying to time the market, majority of the times in my it's been my past experience in the last 21 years that whenever we people tried to time the market, it backfired. So instead of doing that, it is said that 90% of the returns that would come out of your portfolio would be through the asset allocation. And by asset allocation, we mean how much percentage of your money is in real estate, how much is in debt, how much is in cryptocurrencies, how much is in uh, all types of investment avenues typically. uh, the combination of that those avenues would give you a particular weighted average return. So that's
Okay,
my
so
thinking. So instead of trying, and as far as the stock market goes, there are what we can learn from stalwarts like Warren Buffett is, if you stay invested for long term, for by long term we I mean 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and in quality stocks the returns would definitely be upwards of 15% per annum. And the logic behind is very simple. If there is a company which has, let's say, 100 crore profit a particular year, and the next year the profits of the company have grown by 20%, so the stock should also be in line with the profits. And ideally, over a long term, if the company's compounded annual growth rate of the net profit is increasing by 20%, the stock should also deliver that, over a long term. So instead of trying to time the market where the risk is much higher, in short term you can suffer losses. Over a long term period, you there are the chances of you suffering losses if you are in the right stocks, or the right mutual fund schemes is close to nil if you are having 5 years plus investment horizon. And that has been particularly covered. There is one chapter called patience, is so that
yes.
particular chapter covers this aspect.
So I'm sure whosoever is having that query when to invest, how to invest in this volatile market. They now know the answer that you need not time it. You need not time your investment. You just have to go with a correct allocation, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you have named a very specific name you have given to the book. Can we know what does that mean? I mean, for the public, and how did you come to that particular title for your book?
So the word is demystifying. Demystifying is basically simplifying. There is a mystery around these particular asset classes or investment. Asset classes are basically investment avenues. And what happens is there are, if you want to purchase a TV, for example, a LED TV, you would do enormous amount of research. There would be so much kind of investment of time and excitement. But when it comes to investing your hard-earned money, there is a laid back
Hmm.
approach. People are not very much inclined to study before investing, and so that's why this book has been written to simplify the different asset classes, the investment avenues, and I tried to cover each and every possible investment avenue on planet Earth in a easy to understand manner. And I was quite surprised. My son is now in fourth standard, and he is at this young age of 10, he's also reading a book, and he was few
Wow,
things he couldn't understand, he asked me, but he was able to understand the language. So that, I think, is the biggest achievement that I according to me, I'm very proud of that particular fact, that a young kid could correlate with the book.
very true, very true. I should second that. Means I also have given this book to the nephews and nieces of my house who I was
Thank you,
having,
ma'am.
and they were so happy. This is such a simple book, like a novel we can read, and yet it was very informative. I mean, the level of information has never nowhere gone down, but the simplification, the proper classification, and all the variety available in one single book is what I guess this makes this book stand out of the hundreds books available in the market.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sir, that I must appreciate to the amount of efforts you have given in that writing and making the book so user friendly.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sir, with this, are you coming up with some additional book or part of this, the second part to this, or something new book or similar topic or a different topic?
For this particular book, I'm editing this book. I'm adding a couple of chapters, and very soon, means I am on the verge of actually doing a tie-up with through Crossword. And Crossword, as such, is a very well reputed chain across India. They have 80 stores. So the as of now, about 2,000 plus copies, 2,500 have been sold. But I want that kind of reach that I would say. So Crossword is a very well reputed chain across India. They have 80 stores. So Crossword is a very well reputed chain, and I'm sure they will do justice to the book through their channel.
Okay, that's great to listen that you are adding few
Also,
more
so
chapters to
I
this
may have
book.
several restaurants in. Yeah, this particular book, there would be two chapters on artificial intelligence and how it is playing a role in choosing investment decisions. And there is a very very new technology which is very people are getting glued to that, which is robot technology or bot technology as it called, when the robot decides where to invest, when to redeem, etc., for trading purposes. So that particular chapter I am actually adding in this book. And one more chapter in there is
Okay.
a chapter on cryptocurrencies, and in that particular chapter I am including NFTs, so which is the non fungible token which has taken the world by a storm. So that particular editing kind of thing is going on right now. And the second book that I'm writing is I'm halfway through. It is on my restaurant journey of the past 4 years. So it is on how
Oh,
to means basically it's on the restaurants, how to set up a restaurant and run a restaurant successfully.
so this restaurant thing was a surprise element to be kept for the next question, but since you have already mentioned, let me tell everyone he is also owner of a restaurant of four restaurant chain in Pune, right? If I'm
Uh,
correct,
seven,
or you
ma'am,
have
actually.
added two more few.
Now
Am I
the
audible,
seventh
sir?
one is coming up.
Oh wow, my God, it's seventh one.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can always I believe if you can always look to him for the financial planning. He is already managing things at client level, and also he is very much interested in teaching students. So many testimonials are available over the net about their experience with you, you being their mentor to you. So how can
Thank
people
you, ma'am.
reach to you, sir?
They can reach to me, ma'am, through my email ID. My email ID is cfpsandeep@gmail.com. So they can send across mail, and you can expect a reply within 48 hours.
Oh, that's amazing. So that is the
Also,
connect you have.
yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And also, I'm reachable on my website, which is www.sandeepsahasrabudhe.com. The name, as you can see, is correctly spelled there. So you can go on my website and you can initiate a query, and I would respond to your query.
That's great, sir, because each and everyone is not aware of how to invest, where to invest, what are the basics. So this is a very good platform, and you are personally involved with your readers, with the people approaching you. That is an amazing approach. I mean, having giving to your today also you are live from Thailand. You are half the time traveling. You have multiple businesses, plus you take up time for authoring and mentoring also. That is great. I mean, that kind of guidance is what is needed today. Uh,
Actually, I've been very
so,
fortunate, ma'am, that sorry to interrupt, that I have
okay.
conducted more than 300 IAPs. IAPs are investor awareness programs on
Oh,
various behalf of Bombay Stock Exchange, then on behalf of various mutual fund houses, and on behalf of also one particular very reputed company I'm associated with. The name of that company is Financial Planning Academy, which is based out of Mumbai, which is a pioneer in certified financial planner education. See, they are into CFP coaching. So through them also, I was very fortunate to have to get the opportunity to conduct IAPs, investor awareness programs.
that's great. So that is amazing. I mean, this is a added information, and that I'm blessed to have such an author today for a live session. And
Thank
I'm
you,
sure
ma'am.
our listeners and authors are also blessed. They know where to connect to you, how to connect you, and we were able to create a connecting link to you to so many people around. With that, sir, your book has such a detailing. What should be kept in mind before starting this book, and what should be the approach? I mean, when anyone is starting reading this book, what should be his or her approach towards it?
The approach would be to have a blank approach actually, and uh, think from a layman terminology, because there are preconceived notions. Now, particularly those who have lost money in the stock market in the past, they would not want to read those chapters, for example, because you what happens, ma'am, also we have different kind of upbringing. So there are families which are very much inclined towards real estate investment, so that particular asset class
Right.
they prefer. Then there are families which traditionally the family, or over a period of last 50 years or so, their fathers, forefathers, the grandfathers, they have developed they had a liking or a success from stock market. So then that particular family gets more glued to that particular asset class. So there is nothing like this asset class is best or that asset class is best. It totally depends on what time you are in which asset class. For example, right now, where when stock market is crashing because of the Ukraine Russia war, gold could do well, crude oil could do well, so commodities as an asset class would do well uh, when market is falling. So no, it's very difficult to hop from one asset class to another and at the right time, because no one can predict the future. But if you are well diversified between the asset classes, it could help you. One particular mistake that lot many people do is that their majority savings are in real estate, so they have very less amount of smaller percentage of allocation towards stock market, which actually is been the most rewarding asset class over the last 30 years.
That's true, and that's the piece of advice we have today. That investing, like with this, I mean, with amazing information, I would just like to sum up the most best tips during the interview today. That first, you have to keep in mind that asset allocation is important. There is no timing down the investment. Allocation is important, and secondly the real estate, which definitely gives good returns, but complete dependency on real estate is not advised by our financial advisor. And to know where to invest, how many options are available, how to decide upon, you definitely must go through this book. And you, sir,
Thank
will
you, madam.
always be available, just a email away, as he said. He will be you replying your all to your queries just within 48 hours. So, on behalf of Kitabe Club, I, Garima Gupta, thanks from the bottom of my heart for sparing some time on this particular topic of investments. And we would be looking forward to your upcoming books and the additions to it, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Pleasure was thank you. The pleasure was entirely mine for having me here on your channel, and I'm very proud of you and the kind of work you are doing, CA Garima, madam. And you are interviewing really good people. So I've gone through your past interviews also. Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, pleasure is
Ma'am.
all, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much
Thank you.
for that.
Thank you.